Oh, we're in for a treat today. Just one of my best friends, one of the most legendary people out of the University of Hartford. It's just a great dude, a good vibes, and he is a beloved person for a reason. Brad Finn, welcome back to the show, bro. How you doing?
Doing good. Round two. Well, I guess this is my third time on
Yeah,
on the cast, so let's make it my best time.
definitely. And we're gonna keep growing here and here, bro. So first things first, Brad, before everything starts and the fun about to begin, just tell me how you doing, man. How's this part of the year for you? You know, it's the fall in Los Angeles where you're at, and almost done with another year. Talk to me about how things have been lately.
Things have been good. Just working on myself. Started hitting the gym every day, or like almost
Yeah.
every day. Trying to be a gym boy, be consistent with it. So I've been hitting the weights. It's cooling down a little bit in California, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gives me like little flashes of my childhood, living on the East Coast. But it's nice, like it's been a little gloomy lately, but I like the wind. It's nice like when it gets a little gloomy and a little chilly out, wear some hoodies, some hoodie weather.
Okay, okay. So,
hmm
like you said, you're from New Jersey. You've been in California a few years now. First, you consider yourself a true Californian.
Um, I don't think so. I think I got a lot of New Jersey in me. Uh,
Okay.
but I mean, California is a lot of what do they call it? Transplants.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people you meet are also kind of new here or have been here for like a few years. So it's like kind of like a melting pot of people from like all over, but I still got the East Coast in me.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So now, obviously, being an East Coast boy, you don't really see leaves changing. You got the palm trees and stuff like that. Do you miss that aspect of the fall? Not seeing that. It seems you get the literal cool weather, maybe that nice fall breeze and that nice smell, but you might not have it in California. Do you miss that at all? Or at least
Yeah,
Southern
I
California?
I do miss it. I tell people that, when it gets Thanksgiving time or like even Christmas time, more importantly,
Mhm.
it's kind of like you got that vibe on the East Coast of, winter time, the holidays are coming, people start putting up their Christmas lights. But here it's like, Thanksgiving Day or even Christmas Day, it's, 70 degrees and sunny. I miss the winter
Mhm.
I miss the winter vibes, for sure. But when January 1st comes, then it's like screw everything else. I don't care anymore. But I do miss the holiday season.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So now that you know what you're doing and you keep moving out and about, now you keep living your life. That's cool. And are there pumpkin patches and apple things you could do the basic fall stuff with or nah?
um, yeah, I think so. I just haven't been to any yet. But I think I've seen pictures of people doing the little pumpkin picking out here.
Definitely.
I don't know where they grow the pumpkins at. But nothing like, the fall, like Halloween even on the East Coast, it's special. It's got that little like an ominous vibe going on all Halloween. But here it's the same sunny. So I miss that too. I miss like, the leaves falling,
Mhm.
and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I know Callie's glad to have you. Hopefully, someday soon you can get a nice taste of fall if you come back and rock and rolling until then. So, another question I have, Brad, right? You know Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
First, you fuck with her?
I think that she obviously pioneered women in film. She helped pioneer and pave the way. So yeah, I definitely respect her.
Yes, quite a legendary career, great talk show host. So she was on her talk show host, right? And she said, quote, I worship my ex-husband Will Koppelman's new wife. Could you be somebody? Could you be somebody from your past and support? You know, there's people coming in our lives, especially lovers, romantic partners, all of that, long term, short term. First, do you feel like it's possible you could be like Drew Barrymore and support and be obsessed with your ex's lover? I couldn't. Like if I saw any of my exes and I mean, I sorry, I don't see myself in that situation unless someone knocks the floor off with me. But in terms of like, first, if I'm still friends with my ex like that, and I'm cool with her partner, I just don't know if I could be that type of person to let that go, unless I'm fully married with somebody and we have a great life. But do you think you could be that type of person?
I guess it's easy for her to say like when you're rich, but I think for regular people, I mean, I guess it depends, but I can't even like if there's even a girl I have a crush on that I never talked to before and I see her with another guy, like I hate that guy. Screw that guy. I don't even have to be married to him. I just see him and I have a crush on him and screw any guy that talks to her.
Yeah, that's happened to all of us, ain't it? Like
Yeah.
I once saw a crush of mine um hooking up with someone in the room next to mine in my apartment. That was pretty awkward. And I figured out after anything like that, that God's gonna reward me with the girl of my dreams. But I know where the envy and jealousy could come from.
Yeah, no, you can't trust women. That's the gist of the story.
Bro, like, is there anything you ever learned from a past fling? Like, whether it's, I don't know, something real or something authentic. Are you someone who like has heard like has learned deep messages from someone you went out with from a time after you heard some sad Drake music, but you're like, whoa, this
Yeah.
was cool before.
Yeah, never simp too hard. I think that's definitely number one on the list. Because the harder you simp, the harder it hurts when it ends. So
Hmm.
that's the number one thing. Don't simp too hard. And then stop making excuses for your significant other. If they're not doing something, stop making excuses for them because they're not going to change. So you can't expect them to change.
Right. Yeah, I feel like when it comes to simping, everyone should be their own independent person. You don't have to bend over backwards for whoever you're dating. You got to be your own, and if they like you for who you are, there's no simping needed. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I like that. No simping needed if it's right. If
Yeah.
it's right, no simping required. Yeah.
Another lesson I've learned from dating: no answer is a answer. Even though we like to have people, be real with us and tell their feelings, and I'm not perfect with it in my past, but I try to be more conscious. But like, I learned no answer is a answer.
I like that too. Yeah. It speaks louder than words.
Right.
Silence.
Man, we're always learning from dating.
You should do a relationship advice podcast. Have the gurus on here. Like JDR would be the love guru, the resident love guru on the podcast.
We always love any chance we can have the great GDR give us some advice and words of wisdom. That is a great idea. You know what? One relationship
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to. I like to talk to a couple who's like one guy or girl's like 30 years older than the other one, and I just want to ask, like, you know, what is this here? You realize there was a big age gap. Please, I would love to hear how this makes sense. I'm sure you're judged in the street. I'm sure people are like, oh, this person's only with you for the money. But why don't you debunk that? I would love to talk to somebody like that, like a sugar mama, sugar daddy, or maybe there is
Yeah.
some weird relationships who are 30 years older.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. Put them on the spot. Ask the female. You think it'll be who do you think it would be, like the females, the one 30 years older, or the man?
I think it's more likely and statistically that older men date younger women, and younger women date older men. And if we
Why do you
find
think
like,
that is?
well, I mean, in the human aspect, people like, you know, people who are older, no matter what your gender is, people like older people. And we've seen historically, there's been so many examples of older rich men dating younger women. And I could get an exact stat to prove my point. And I'm just going by what I see mostly in my life. Of course, there are older women who date younger men, and of course, there's like same-sex couples like that, older and younger as well. But I'm generally interested to know about that dynamic and not letting preconceived judgments, affect their relationship. I think that that would help, to learn about that. And I haven't really seen so many situations where people have talked about that.
Yeah, yeah. No, you make a good point. I think that would be a great segment on the podcast. I think a lot of people want to know. You know, but
Yeah,
I was actually thinking about this like yesterday. You know, a lot of people say that with a big age difference, that what do they have in common? But who knows?
right.
Maybe they do. Who's us to tell them they don't have anything in common?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it really isn't any of our business. But
Mhm.
what I've seen, I would just really be intrigued, and I'm just very interested. According to OprahDaily.com, somebody asked the question, "Have you ever dated a man at least 10 years older than you?" And they asked women this.
Do you go on OprahDaily.com?
Sometimes, but the percentages is women said 73% of women said yes, totally have been there, compared to 27 who have never have. So that's where I see, like, maybe it's a stereotype that you see more older guys with younger women, and I'll acknowledge that. But of course, it's for anybody. Just love who you want as long as you're respectful and nobody's taking advantage. Who cares? But it would be just interesting to know what they say or what they think.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think that a lot of times the guy is older because guys, they can reproduce late into life. You
Yeah,
know.
that's true. I think Mick Jagger at 70 had a kid with a 30-year-old girl,
Oh yeah,
like something like that. But hey, imagine you saying, "Yeah, Mick Jagger, that's my pops."
yeah, and that would be. I would love to say that.
Someday. But better yet, you could just say, "I'm Brad Finn. That's my dad." I'm sure your kids would appreciate that.
I'm Brad Finn. That's my dad.
Or Brad Finn, that's my dad.
Brad Finn's my dad. Yeah. One day I'll be able to say that.
Oh yeah. So another question thing I was interested in. You once texted me this when we were talking about social media, and you and I were talking about, like, people who post all the time, people who put on a front, and you said, "quote I move in silence." Can you talk to us about what you mean exactly when it in terms of social media and how people our age love to show off while you quote move in silence? I'd love to have you elaborate on that. Talk to me about that.
um. So yeah, I would say I like to move inside. I think for a sec I was I was in the trenches with the social media stuff, posting on Instagram, posting stories. But I realized that a lot of people they use that for validation.
Right.
So I don't really, I'm not really interested in like showing off what I'm doing. I think a lot of people they like to show off what they're doing, but that's not really my personality. I think that people gotta focus on what they're doing. I think people kind of present like a false picture of what their life entails when they have a lot of stuff going on in the background. So I try to stay off all that social media stuff. Besides staying in contact with old friends.
Of course.
I have an Instagram, but I don't really post anything on it. I use it just for keeping in touch with old friends. But I think that too many people, they kind of, they make their personality trait to be Instagram, and I don't really like that. I think people, it's not really good for mental health. People talk about mental health are always on Instagram talking about it. So I get off Instagram and focus on yourself. Stop bragging about what you're doing. But also, I think I don't hate on people that are fully into it. I respect it. It's just not my thing, really. I like to have a little element of surprise. I don't like to be predictable. I don't really like people to know too much about me.
Yeah, I really respect that too. And I think, I mean, you hit it on the head. People use Instagram as a personality trait. People really, really are obsessed with it. And it defines them. And that's horrible and sad. And, of course, like you said, social media is great because you can stay in contact with people. But at the same time, there's a whole world outside of social media. Like like
Hmm.
Twitter, for instance, I think I only heard this on the radio, so I don't have the exact numbers, but of course I'll Google that right now. I think only 7% of the world's entire population is on Twitter. Just 7%.
Oh
And
wow.
it makes it seem like more than that. Like Twitter is the be all end all. And of course it's interesting and I love hearing people's thoughts, especially on big events. But it's insane how obsessed people are. And like of course at one point I thought I needed to show myself in a certain type of way, but then when I realized how much of a tool I was becoming, I realized it's not worth it. And
Hmm.
I just am showing myself, and people will like me for whom I am or who I'm not. And now my social media, at least my personal one, is just about promoting my podcasts and any cocktails I make. And of course, I like taking pictures from my own personal. I don't like to show off everything, like you said. So, great minds think alike.
Yeah, I think so too. Have you ever been out with somebody and like you're about to eat and it's like gotta take a picture of their food for like social media, or, like Snapchat or Instagram? There's
Oh,
nothing more annoying than that. Like just eat your food. No one cares. You ever like go on Instagram and see somebody that posted their food and be like, "Wow, like thank you for letting me see that." Like nobody cares like,
yeah,
about
we're
what you're
so
eating.
impressed. We're so impressed with what you do. I mean, with the exception of me, who does post drinks, only because I made them though. I consider them artwork. Um, like we get it. You're having a good time, dude, or dudette, or whatever.
And do that, yeah.
But yeah, it happens all the time, and I used to be that way too when I would do those MB reviews. But I would like to try to make
No, but that's
other
different. That
drinks.
those were entertaining. Like those
Oh,
had
thank
some
you, bro.
purpose. Yeah, everyone loved the NBA reviews. Everyone's sad they're not happening anymore. You gotta bring those back.
I do have to bring those back. I've gotten a lot of requests lately, and you know
Yeah.
what, Brad? By the time we have this on, within the next couple weeks, I'm gonna do an MB review, one way or the other. I promise.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's different. You're giving some entertainment, and the drinks. Those that's some good entertainment too. I like seeing the
Appreciate
new
that.
drinks. And you put me on to some new drinks. But people that are just like going out to lunch and gotta snap a pic of their food.
They're doing the boomerangs.
Yeah, and then you have to wait for them too. You have to wait for them to take their pic before you start eating to be polite.
Yeah, like that's really a way of life. And I will say, every once in a while, somebody does put me onto a restaurant. Besides that, enjoy the moment. Like one thing I cognitively do with friends, family, whatever, I try to turn my phone off, put it in my pocket or put it in the middle, and enjoy the moment because it's like what Ferris Bueller said. Life moves fast, pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you could miss it. And I feel like, man, I miss so many good memories trying to put on a front and take pictures, and glad I don't think that way anymore.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. I think with age, it kind of like opened my eyes to what I should be focusing my time on and what I shouldn't be focusing my time on. So yeah, when I'm out to eat, I put my phone down and I don't touch it. I think for a while it was really affecting my social skills and just being
Yeah.
polite and the side you show people. You want to show people your most genuine self. I don't know how you can do that if you're on your
I
phone the whole time.
I felt the exact same way. Even times I went to the bar and be like a wall sitter on my phone when I could, possibly meet a new friend or, a new special person in my life. That's just wasting time and you wonder why you get roasted. And I just try to make the most of it because, this life is very delicate and short, and especially this pandemic taught us that. So I encourage people to put the phone down in special social situations. You'll appreciate it in the long run.
Yep, or like start reading, like start reading, teach yourself something new.
Yeah,
That's what I've been doing. I learned how to like really engage with people in conversation and realize how
yeah,
like the way I conversed with people before has been like not rude, but like not as like genuine as it could be.
mm,
Like there's so many important ways to make somebody the speaker as a listener make themselves feel important. And you'd hope that somebody would do that for you if you were talking to them.
oh
Show
yeah,
show 100% attention, like look you in the eye, be interested in your story. Listen. I think there was a saying: listen with the intent to understand. Don't listen with the intent to respond. I think that's really important. So like just things like that, just teaching myself how to like respect people, just body language. It's all
yeah.
really important.
It just makes you a
Mm.
better person. And I hate to date ourselves. We're closer to 30 than we were 20 now, and it really is time to be an adult, even more of an adult, while we still enjoy what's left of our youth. So
Mhm.
those social skills go a long way, and people notice and appreciate it. Especially that you hit it on the head with the eye contact and body language. Like I really try my best to make sure I have my best self with that, and not, you know, embarrass myself and look like a fool.
Yeah. Like you ever talk to somebody, and that they're obviously distracted and they don't really care what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's
be
so
off.
rude. Or like they start like interrupting you or talking about something totally different while you're like really trying to tell them something. Even if I'm not interested in what someone's saying, I'm gonna show them the respect of listening and responding. Really says a lot about you if you do those things I talked about. So it's pretty inconsiderate.
It's the smallest little effort to do to be engaging, and people remember how you make them feel like that. If you make people feel like you're being ignored, if you're being, not genuine and just being an asshole or jerk, people remember that, and that goes a long way. You never know when a little decency will take you a long way. So, bro, I know what you're saying, man, and we just gotta remind ourselves every single day to, just put a little effort in. That's all we ask. A little effort in being engaging.
Yeah, I think so. Just being genuine. Um, I think in learning from past mistakes, I used to be horrible at socializing until I realized there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. But there's something else to keep in mind is saying that's like, people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. So
That's
like,
right.
you know, uh, you can look at back at little things you said, like, oh, why did I say that? But and at the end of the day, you gotta look at the whole picture. How did I make them feel? Like you pay attention to how they act and how you made them feel, and that's 10 times more important than what you said or how you said it.
Couldn't have said it any better, bro. And that's why you're a real dude, genuine for that, man. So, we're gonna keep that going, and we're going to make sure we're our best selves. And that networking and being respectful is gonna take us far, bro. Especially you. I'm proud of
Yeah,
you for
no,
improving those social skills because you have a lot of good things to say.
Ah, yeah, thanks. You also obviously, practice makes perfect, and you're doing all these podcasts, so you're obviously like opened a whole new realm. You probably learned a lot about yourself just by talking to like a bunch of different people.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for recognizing that. It's as this episode airs, we're closing in on our first full year of doing the show, and over 108 episodes. It's been a ride, and I think it's officially over 114 different guests, and it was just
Hmm.
about being engaging, and it's helped me a lot in my social skills. I've been so much better in dates and so much better talking with people, and when I do job interviews as well. It really is a skill to uphold, and I'm lucky enough I have this just curiosity and interest in all people, and that's why I think we can all be productive. So yeah, it's easy when I have guests like you, man. It really is.
Yeah, yeah, and then you've obviously interviewed a lot of different types of people, um, and I probably understand people more than you used to understand them, or like different types of people in that way. So yeah, dude, you're killing it.
Appreciate it, man. And like I said, just thank you for your support, and we're gonna keep showing off the amazing people in this world with this show. So I appreciate that, man. I really do.
Sure.
Brad, um, one thing I would love to hear your perspective on this, because I really respect your opinion, and you know how well humans work. So you were in college and you were a member of Greek life. You were in a fraternity, right?
Uh-huh.
That's how we met. We were people of fraternities, right? And as this fall semester started, we've seen a few situations of specifically fraternities being accused of pretty heinous crimes, whether sexual assault, drugging drinks, just not being gentlemen and being awful human beings. It's pretty gross to see a few bad apples, you know, make a bad name for all of Greek life, right? And you did well at U Hard, and Greek life had a great reputation. Remember the legendary presentation you did on you know, alcohol awareness and stuff. You've done a lot of great stuff through Greek life. I was wondering if you don't mind now that you're a few years removed from college, you're striving your career, making big moves, but you were at one point in Greek life, but now seeing these fraternities accused of these absolute heinous crimes. I was just wondering how you felt as someone who was in Greek life, who's able to have a good start on his career, and most importantly, being a gentleman and doing well both personally and professionally. I was wondering what you think of the news lately of some of these fraternities, and as someone who is familiar with that type of lifestyle, what do you think of what's going on with Greek life nationally?
I definitely think it comes a lot from parenting. I think
Yeah.
that's probably the first one of the first big reasons of why people act the way they do. But I also think it's probably also culture.
Mm.
Depending on what fraternity you're in, there might be a culture they push, where if you don't do certain things, or you'll be shunned, or they teach you how to do certain things, and kind of like brainwash you in a way and make you believe something that maybe you don't believe. Um, but
Mhm.
I do think that more accountability, I don't think, for example, you could be like older and say, use an excuse for, doing a heinous act, as what you're talking about when you're younger, and justify it. I think that's just one of those things that's
Mhm.
an inherent trait that you don't like get rid of. There's no, it's like if you say rob a store when you're like 13, that's something like, oh, I was just young and stupid. But like other
Yeah.
stuff like sexual assault, there's no like, you can't recover from that. So I think it has a lot to do with culture, parenting. Like at least when I was in college, I could never imagine violating another human like that.
Right.
But I've seen it happen, and there are people that are comfortable with doing that. I don't personally understand it, but I can only imagine it's just something they learned, or something that they were kind of like brainwashed into believing is okay.
It's tragic what some of these guys have done ruining reputations for themselves, their fraternity, and their families. And you're right, man. I don't ever can think of doing something that heinous to somebody. And it breaks your heart that there are these situations still taking place, even through the countless hours of counseling, the countless hours of training, and so many people making warnings to these fraternity men. Hey, you can't do this. It's not worth it. Fraternities are made to raise money and give a great experience for men before they go into the real world, and the same with sororities as well. And the fact that these stupid individuals do these stupid decisions, it's just sad, man. And sometimes, even as someone who really benefited from being in a fraternity, socially and professionally and stuff, I now look back a few years later and I'm wondering, like, man, what's the point of having these fraternities um, if they're going to keep making these same mistakes? Now, I'm not saying, get rid of Greek life. All I'm saying is, what else can we do if we keep pushing this agenda to not do it, and yet fraternities still don't listen, man? It's a hard, slippery slope, man.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. I don't really know the fix either. I think that Greek life obviously helped both of us tremendously professionally in our personal lives, like you were saying. But I think just accountability is something huge, no matter like what it's about, whether it be politics, government, law, uh, fraternity. I mean, it just needs to be accountability. People can't get away with it. The more people get away with it, the more it's gonna happen. But I think guys need to do better too. I mean, I don't know. I think at least one, because I have a bunch of female friends, and
Mm-hmm.
they're always showing me like some crazy DMs or like a
Yeah.
story about like some guy just being super creepy or just being super horny for no reason. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's sad. I mean, I don't know how these guys recover from like acting like that. There's some things I've seen where it's like, damn, this guy's like borderline psycho. I don't understand it. But guys definitely need to do better for
Yeah, I
sure.
agree with you, man. Straight guys who are, you know, trying to be slick and doing these constant moves that don't work, where you're more using your power, being causing a lot of pressure and just being a dick. That clearly proves that's not going to work, and you're going to be punished for it. And you just don't get it. You just don't get it, man. And at the end of the day, we just have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to hold people accountable and let them know it's not right. It's not right. The wrong thing to do, and you're not gaining anything from it. It's all about decisions,
Hmm.
as my amazing grandma Lola always says to me. I think about it all the time. The choices you make today will affect your future tomorrow. And is it really worth it to put someone in so much distress so that you can feel a couple seconds of pleasure? It isn't. And if you
Uh-huh.
just take the time to get to know someone and communicate, it only enhances your relationship. If you just try to cut corners and, be selfish, uh, karma will come back to haunt you. So just
Yeah.
do the right
Well,
thing.
kind of what you're saying about karma. What you put into this world is what you're gonna get out of it. The energy you put into this world is the energy you're gonna receive. So always remember that.
Always do the right thing. And anyone listening here, make sure you hold yourself accountable and just be a gentleman. It will take you a long way. So, and
And
trust in
admit
this
when you're
kid.
wrong too.
Yep,
Regardless of the situation, just admit. It will make life a lot easier for everybody if people admit when they're wrong. Because some people don't, because nobody around them admits when they're wrong. But everyone just gotta admit when they're wrong.
absolutely. That's what just makes us human. No one's perfect, and you know, it's easy to call people out. We live in a gotcha world, so might as well just hold yourself accountable for all your actions. And as long as you're kind, you work hard, man, and good to people, good things will happen. Don't take the opposite route. So
Yep.
on,
Be good to everybody.
on to lighter things, but yes, like you said. Be good to everybody. On to lighter things, Brad. Yo, you
Uh
you were a big fan of movies as a kid. Did you get into any of that? You know, do you have those special childhood memory movies that you know, raise the nostalgia? Whether it's like me, I love Toy Story or Space Jam or the Even Stevens movie. Nah, I didn't really watch that, but I don't know why that came to my head. But I did like Toy Story, Space Jam, Rugrats movie. That was the first ever movie I saw in theaters. Was the Rugrats movie, or like some of those childhood movies that brings you a lot of good memories.
I can't really watch it anymore, but I on VHS I had Space Jam. I was young though. I was like 5 or 6, and I would watch it every single day.
Every
So
day.
Space Jam, yeah, Space Jam. Good Burger is one of my favorite
Good
movies
Burger.
ever. Uh, I remember seeing Seed of Chucky when I was really young, probably way too young to watch it.
That mess you up?
I don't know, maybe it did. I remember seeing Borat. I forget what year, how old I
Oh
was when I saw that, but that like was probably at the time the funniest movie I ever seen.
yeah, that's one of my favorite movies
Um,
of all time.
hmm and then other movies when I was younger. No, I don't really remember too many, but it was like the Rugrats movie. Yeah, that
Mhm.
was a pretty good one. Like the SpongeBob movies.
Oh yeah,
Hmm
I love that, dude. When you said Good Burger, I think I watched that a lot at VHS as well. I mean, first VHSs, bro. Isn't it crazy you'll be able to tell your kids there was a time before Netflix and HBO Max, and when they had a bunch of other streaming services, when they do Netflix 2 or something. There was a time where you had to watch V movies and TV on a cassette tape, on a VHS tape, and you watched it. You had to rewind. You can only press the button to pause. Isn't that hilarious that we actually lived through that?
Yeah, well, at the time, our parents were saying how like, oh, back in our day, like I don't even know what they had back then, like
They have
tu-
nothing.
tube TVs or whatever. So yeah, there's
A
always gonna
laser
be some
disc.
crazy. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. 8-track. Yeah, no, my mom used to record all her like soap operas on the VHSs
Mhm.
and have to like rewind it or like record something over it.
Did
Yeah,
she
no,
get tight?
it's I don't know. She record over her own stuff. I wasn't messing with her VHSs. But yeah, no, it really changed the game. I'm glad movie theaters are still around though, because
Oh yeah.
those could easily be wiped out if enough people just, want to watch at home.
Right. Luckily, the theater still gives experiences, and there's a lot of great movies coming out this fall. So I think there'll be a comeback season for the movie theater. So we definitely love and appreciate that. And yeah, bro, the VHSs and the DVDs and Blu-rays, I still have a stack, like literally this big of Blu-rays and DVDs that are obsolete now. But if people notice, some of the pictures on these walls are old DVD covers. So
Oh
use them for
yeah,
good
yeah.
use. Mhm.
You remember when Project X came out? I think that we were probably like, I think I must have been like a sophomore or freshman in high school.
Oh yeah.
It's like not old enough to go see it by myself. So me and a friend, we went, and I think at first we were just like, oh, can we get Project X to no, I was 18, or how old you have to be? 17 or 18?
You have to be
17?
17 to watch by yourself.
Yeah, so I was 17, but my friend, he didn't have his ID or whatever. So I just asked, I went up without him and I was like, can I have 2 tickets to Project X? And they were like, you have to have the other person with you. So I'm like, well, that just blows like our plan. So we scheme in the parking lot and we're like, okay, we'll just get tickets to like whatever. I forget what movie it was. It was some children's movie,
Yeah.
like Scooby-Doo or something, or I just get those tickets and just go into Project X. So we go back and it's like the same guy. Like we went to a whole different booth and it's the manager and he just like I guess switched booth. And we said, okay, can we get like 2 tickets to Horton Hears a Who? And he knew what was up. He's like, all right. So we get the tickets. We go into Project X, like sneak in, and we're watching and we're good. We're like kind of slumped in our chairs just in case somebody comes looking for us. And right before the big party is about to start, the guy comes and like sees us and kicks us
Oh,
out of the theater. Right before like the party was about to start.
if it was the wrong dude who saw it, huh? If it was just any other worker, you might have had a better chance.
Dude, fuck that guy. What better? Like, come on. You really
Yeah,
you're really that mad?
you gotta contribute to the movie theater, you know? Contribute to the filmmakers and the crew who work so hard.
Not only that, but dude, just get over yourself. Why you gotta kick 2 17-year-olds out of a
Yeah,
movie? Because
exactly.
like, get a life.
Yeah, that guy probably still kicking people out of movie theaters.
That dude probably got roasted before work because he works. He's a manager at AM, and he looked like a dork too. Probably was just mad at life.
You had a society taken out on YouTube. Shit.
Yeah.
I never done that trick, the buy a ticket, just go to the other theater. But I do the first ever rated R movie I saw in theaters, I saw with my friend and his dad was Bruno. And like, you seen Bruno?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah, I
other,
have.
with Sacha Baron Cohen, he plays the fashion designer.
You saw your friend's dad?
Yeah, I saw his friend's dad, bro, and they have that famous scene where it's just right big smack in the scene, right in the middle of the frame. You just see a big penis going around in a helicopter. It's like, yo, this is what we're in for.
Is that the scene when they have like that bungee cord and he launches himself at the other dude's ass? Like,
Yeah,
is that the same scene?
pretty much. Oh man, what a movie. But yeah, that was the first ever rated R
Yeah, I don't
movie
think
I
I
saw.
ever saw that whole thing.
It's a
Yeah.
great movie. It's
Wait,
hilarious.
that was their first rated R movie.
That I saw in
That when did
theaters,
that come out?
like '09.
Oh
So
nine.
I would have been what, 14?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's an unpleasant first rated R, especially your friend's dad. I wouldn't. I don't think
Hey,
I'd ever be able to look at that dude again.
he was one of those really cool dads, like really cool, like, yo, drink a beer in front of me type of dad in high school. I didn't drink in high school, but he's that type of vibe. But yeah, bro, it was hilarious to say the least, and I liked the movie. It was good. I just didn't expect a big penis to helicopter around, but there's some people who enjoyed that, and that's for those audience members. And
It's art.
we respect the art, as you say, and whatever you have to do to prolong the story. I just found it hilarious and didn't expect that.
Yeah, and I've seen that. I've seen that scene as well.
But yo, dude, you want to know something? You like music,
Yeah.
right? You have
Yeah.
a good sphere on music, I would say, right?
I have a good understanding. Yeah.
Yo, so a couple weeks ago, Rolling Stone, probably the best pop culture magazine, in my opinion, ever. They released the 500 greatest songs ever. The greatest songs ever.
They got
2021
Drake
updated.
on there. Drake on there.
Uh, let me search to see his name. But bro, could you tell me what do you think is the best song of all time according to Rolling Stone? Why, see if any Drake songs are there.
The best song ever. Probably some old song, like some Beatles song.
Mm-hmm.
But how about Thriller? Thriller's probably like top 10 on that list.
Not quite. Thriller, as I'm looking on here, Thriller doesn't make it. But there are some other fun songs at 10. Number one, the greatest song of all time, and we'll go back. According to this Rolling Stone magazine, is Aretha Franklin's "Respect." That's the greatest song of all time. I think that's a fair choice right there.
Yeah. No, I've heard that song ever since I was in the single digits. So yeah,
Bro, that
it's
song's
gotta
a
be.
bop. The legendary Aretha Franklin, God
I
rest
would
her
never
soul.
bump it, but I respect it.
Yo, dude, you know what number two was?
Yeah, is the Bee Gees on there? I'm a big Bee Gees fan.
Yo, Staying Alive. That shit goes hard. Actually, bro, I love the Bee Gees. You saw that documentary on fucking the documentary on HBO Max about the Bee Gees.
I haven't, but I gotta check that out. I just know that didn't they do something to their voices to make it sound like that? They intentionally
Yeah, they
did
had
some drug.
um to be honest, I only saw bits and pieces of the doc, so I haven't seen that part, but I saw how like they would create their songs without having computers back then. But yeah, not on this immediate list I could see. I mean, there's definitely songs here. I'm just looking at the top 10. But Staying Alive goes so hard, bro. There's some BG songs that if they still played it at the bar, we would go off. All of us of any age. And I dream of going to bars where they play some 70s music. Now, don't get me wrong, I like me some good reggaeton and trap music and hip hop, but bro, if you could just I would play the songs, but YouTube would take it off. But you like Staying Alive, More Than a Woman, bro. That's my wedding song. No cap.
How's that go? More than a woman?
It goes, like
Oh yeah.
if
I
you've
know,
seen the movie
I know.
Saturday Night Fever, that's the last battle song. So Night Fever
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
hard. That shit bops on bops. But
I
yo,
don't think I would rock to that at the bar though, to be honest.
hey man, I'll rock to anything. That's just me. But yo, Fight the Power. Fight the Power by Public Enemy. That's number two.
What about Temptations?
Temptations. I
The
wish there was.
Temptations on there? Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Oh yeah, there definitely is. I'm just looking at the top 10, but you know, if I just next time I'll be sure to print out the list. But
They got Ariana Grande on there.
I'm just seeing like John Legend, John Lennon,
Probably
um,
John Legend was on there.
probably everybody. It's
What
500
about
songs.
Beyonce?
Crazy in Love, yeah, definitely. I'm just the top 10 just to tell you just the reference. So again, number 10 is Outkast Hey Ya. Of course, that was classic. Fleetwood Mac's Dreams. That's the song I think the guy who was drinking cranberry juice riding a longboard was playing. Missy Elliott's Get Your Freak On, number 8. The Beatles' Strawberry Fields Forever. Songs that pop. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone. Sam Cooke, A Change Is Gonna Come. Yeah, hitting all the genres when they can.
Oh, okay, yeah. That sounds like a solid list. I feel like people born these days are like, was it Gen Z? They probably never heard of any of these.
No, they didn't. Maybe Hey Ya, but that's it. They're the best song to them is Lil Nas X's Old Town Road. That's the greatest song of all time.
That's
But
a
we
good
appreciate
song.
her. That song does go hard.
I definitely used to bump it in my car. Not anymore though. Not anymore. But
Ah,
I used to bump it, windows down, you know.
let it be known, bro. And by the way, for Drake's song, bro, according to this list, Drake did make the list.
Oh yeah, what does he got? Um, Hold on, I'm going home. Is that one song?
I picked the wrong article, man, because it just has his name here. But you know what? I will look at the list soon,
It
and I'll
says
tell you
Drake.
what's good. It just says Drake was on this list. It says Drake, um, Kendrick, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Lil Nas X is on the list according to this.
They got Old Town Road as top 500. of all time.
according to
Hippies.
Rolling Stones. You know what's on this? Drake's Hotline Bling. That's the song on this list.
Damn, that's an awful song.
Beyonce Savage remix with Megan Thee Stallion, or she said Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce doing Savage.
What's your favorite song of all time?
That's a good question. Probably my favorite song of all time is I really like Everybody Rules the World by Tears for Fears or Careless Whisper by George Michael. I don't know why, but those songs hype me up. I always have to say those. I really like, you
I
know what I
don't
really
even
like?
know if I know.
I like Drake Find Your Love. That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh, that's a very good song. That's a slept on song, you know.
Hell yeah. That's one of my
That,
favorite
that
songs of all
was that
time.
song is before its time. Yeah, that's definitely a good fit. That's a good song.
You think Find Your Love is going to be your wedding song?
um, yeah, I do think so. My favorite song is "Time to Pretend" by MGMT.
Oh, that's a vibe, bro. You ever drive since you're in LA? You ever drive down Rodeo Drive or in Beverly Hills, that famous place with all the palm trees, and you just bump that song loud? It's like I'm here.
I don't think I've done that, but I every time I put on that song, it kind of reminds me, like, those songs you put on it, it just kind of brings you back down to earth.
Absolutely.
I feel like I play that song and it's like all my worries go away and it helps me like understand who I am again. I don't know.
Well, I love that, man, and you respect that, and maybe that's played at your wedding or some other baller event.
MGMT is like I'd love to see him live.
Yeah, bro, they should be on tour very soon, don't you think?
Yeah. I think I saw a video of like Kid Cudi at one of their performances and he's I guess on acid or something, just
Oh,
frolicking around the stage with like some sunglasses on. I think he did that to Time to Pretend maybe, but he was just frolicking on stage.
dude, I'm dead, but I would love to see that. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, look it up.
Yo, Brad, there's so we're winding down. There's just one last thing I'd like to do with you because I know you got to do something after this, and we appreciate the time, bro. So the last thing I'd like to ask, if you could do this again, or if we could do this again, the Proust questionnaire, but we're doing another version of it. You did it the first time. I'd love to do it one more time right here with some questions I came up with. So you ready to do it again, Brad?
Do what again?
The Proust questionnaire number 2, because I made the
Uh,
questionnaire for people who make their second appearance on. So
yeah.
hell yeah, bro. So let's do this. Proust questionnaire number 2 with the great Brad Finn. Number 1, bro. What's your idea of pure happiness?
I think pure happiness. I don't know. I honestly, what makes me happy is making other people happy or making other people laugh. So I think just being surrounded by good people, good family, good friends that care about you genuinely, I think that's pure happiness. I don't think, I mean, a lot of people say you have to find it in yourself first, but I just find being surrounded by people that genuinely care about me and making them happy that's what makes me happy.
Yeah, man, what a great answer. What a great answer, dude. What's your greatest fear?
I think my greatest fear is being alone. I think that's
Mhm.
my greatest fear, and not like anything specifically, but just in general. I think it's hard, being alone.
Definitely, man. And well, you know, no one deserves loneliness, and the I totally hear where you're coming from, man. I totally get that. I have that type of thought a lot too. I don't want to be alone, and you know
Yeah. and not even alone by yourself, just the concept of being alone, like alone and say your thoughts,
Yeah.
alone and like just not having other people to listen to you or to like know you have in your corner. I think I can't imagine like not having anybody and just being nobody around and just physically, mentally,
Mhm.
emotionally.
Man, that's why we have a lot of support for our support systems, a lot of love and support for our support systems, and don't forget to give it back and pass it on as well. So,
Hmm.
as people are there for you, you got to be there for them. So, I want to know another thing is what's your greatest extravagance? So, what's something you spent the most money on for like pure joy?
uh Spent the most money on.
Yeah, whether it's a car, a vacation, beer, uh, anything that you spent a lot of money on. Maybe it's tickets to a concert or a game, but you saw like, hey, I can afford this. It's a lot of money, but I'm going for it for me, treating myself.
That's a good question. I think my car, um but it's financed, but I got like a new car. Well, it's like used, but I don't
Hell
know.
yeah,
It's
bro. Team Beamer.
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like the greatest thing I've ever bought myself for sure. Yeah.
Hey man, you earned it. So rock and roll.
Yeah, no, I'm thankful. But I can't really, I never I don't think I've ever spent money on a vacation like anything crazy. Like I've gone to Vegas. I don't really
Mhm.
consider that a vacation. But I've never really been to, say on like a Mexico like spring break vacation. I've never been on one of those.
Mhm.
So um I don't really I guess have a lot of different big expenditures that I can really think of. But living in LA is expensive for sure. Um, so that takes a lot of money. But I've always wanted to live here, and it's not gonna be forever. So might as well enjoy the experience while I'm here.
Hey man, another thing you earned, bro. So respect to that. Who was your greatest teacher or professor?
I was always an awful student, no matter what stage of my life. I'm pretty sure all my professors, I wouldn't say they hated me, but I because I was obviously always nice, but I don't think they liked how bad of a student I was. For example, I couldn't pay attention in class. Um, but there was a professor in college that went out of her way to help me change my major. Um, and if it weren't for her, like I probably wouldn't obviously be like where I am now, or I would be stuck wherever I was. But it was crazy how it worked out. But there was a nice professor. I think it was Professor Kamal at UHeart. Uh,
Shall suppress.
but huh?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're saying.
Nah, it was just yeah. But no, honestly, I never like had a close relationship with a teacher because I don't think any of them liked how I didn't try or pay attention in class. Or like what didn't I was always the student that got their exam handed face down. I don't know if
Mhm.
you've had that experience,
Oh,
but
quite a bit.
yeah, I don't remember the last time I got handed an exam face up. It was always face down.
Hey man, but respect though to Professor Kamal who took a liking and lead you in the right direction.
Yeah, I got her a rose on Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's gonna take you.
Yeah.
That's gonna give you some habit points. You know what's another thing I used to do? If you didn't do homework, you used to go in your bag and like swoop around to act like you had it. Like, shh, did I have this? Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't do it. I did that a couple times.
Yeah, that or trying to copy off somebody's like right next to you as the teacher's coming around.
Yeah, doing your homework while they're
Um,
coming. I did. I remember
yeah.
I tried that twice. One, I completely was able to pull it off. They saw it and like, good job. And the other was like, "Yo, are you doing your homework now?" And was my favorite teachers of all time, Mr. Lawton. And I felt so sad disappointing him. I did so nice in his social studies class, but did so bad in his economics class.
Yeah, and he caught you trying to do your homework right before he
Yeah,
checked it.
but hopefully he still forgives me, Mr. Lawton.
Nah, he probably still thinks about it.
Yeah, bro. As this podcast is growing, and he's like, "Man, that's my student," but he tried to do his homework at the last minute. Yo, man, I
Yeah.
already asked you this, but if you wanted to elaborate more, but what have you learned from a past relationship or fling? But you mentioned how you learned about, communications and stuff like that. But if there's anything else to add, you got it.
Uh, I mean, it's cliche, but I think being yourself is like huge because you know, you always try to do something, say extra or change a little bit of your personality around.
Yeah.
But like, can you imagine trying to be something you're not, getting rejected for it, and then being like, wow, like,
Maybe if I
like
showed
I could just,
myself, it would have worked.
yeah, like, yeah, and you can't be yourself and then get rejected, or not even rejected, but whatever it may be, and then have any sort of like regret. How can you regret? You kind of changed anything. The only regret you could have is if you weren't yourself at any time. Like, damn, why did I do that? That wasn't me. So it's cliche, but I think in any situation ever, right, you gotta be your genuine self, and that requires, you know, staying off social media all the time. You know, because that kind of, you try to portray yourself on social media as something that like definitely isn't always 100% legitimate, and then you start believing that, and then making it, like I said, your personality trait. Um, so I think just staying level headed, taking life slow, being genuine. Yeah.
And someone's gonna like you for that, man. I used to think there was a formula when trying to impress girls for dating, but I just don't have to be myself, and someone's gonna really like you for being yourself. So no need to
Yeah.
text at a certain time, say this, that, or the other. Just have your best foot forward, and they should like you for who you are, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah, you'll attract the type of girl, or if you're a female, a type of
Yep.
guy, by being yourself. You can't, if someone says like you don't have enough Instagram followers, I can't mess with you,
That's that.
like
Then
that's
they're
not
not worth it.
that's not the type of girl like you want. So and I don't think any relationship probably ever worked out, like, according to Instagram followers. So yeah, I think, just don't think too hard about anything in life. Don't take life too serious.
A fucking men. So, what word or phrase do you most overuse?
I think I say bro a little too much.
Hmm. That's okay. I do the same thing.
I think if
um,
you could say the most cruelest thing humanly possible, but if you end it with bro, like,
they'll just think
it all of a
it's
sudden
not real.
changes the connotation. I try to say bro so people don't think that I'm being too serious about things.
Same thing with people who write LOL at the end of their text. They overuse that all the time. Like I'm trying to talk about something serious. Especially if someone says something that pissed me off. It's like, yo, that's not funny. Why are you saying LOL? But you know,
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing people use to try to like downplay the seriousness of what they're saying.
that's why phone calls go a long way. Brad, may I
Mhm.
ask you which historical figure or movie or TV character do you identify the most with?
Um, I don't know. That's a tough one. I never really thought about that before.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
I thought of that all myself.
I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Damn.
I
All
don't
right.
really
All
know. What
right.
about you? What about you?
I always felt like I was Rocky, has something to prove. Um, always pushing. I can still be with the big ballers, but I have to really prove myself. That's why I think I'm like Rocky.
Make the impossible possible.
Mm-hmm. And we take our lessons and we learn from them, and we make things worth it after the fact. That's how I feel like I'm Rocky.
Yeah,
So
no, that's a good. Yo, Rocky was big in my town growing up because that's Philly area.
hell yeah, bro.
He's a big Philadelphia symbol.
One of the best movies of all time, Rocky One.
Yeah, Oh yeah, Rocky one.
Mm-hmm. What is
Wasn't Sylvester Stallone? Wasn't he like homeless and he wrote Rocky and then like they try to like buy the script off of him and he was like, "Nah, I want to play Rocky."
Yeah, man, allegedly, bro. He even made a porno called The Italian Stallion. He was dirt poor, had to sell his dog. It was tough for him, but he just had a dream, met the right people, showed the script he had. It was based off of a real fight. Muhammad Ali beat, I forgot who he beat, but he went the distance with him, and he, you know, made the one of the greatest film franchises of all time. So it
Yeah,
shows, man, and make the most of the opportunities, but anything's possible.
yeah, respect to him.
Hella respect. Just two more questions. One, what do you value the most in your friends, Brad?
Um, Value the most in my friends. I would just say being appreciated by a friend. I think that a lot of times you try to do nice things for friends, and favors you don't like to feel taken advantage of by a friend. So I think just being appreciated in a friendship, both ways, giving and receiving appreciation is probably the most important. I forget what the question was, but that
Now
what
that
was the
that was
question?
it. Is what do you appreciate the most in your friends?
Yeah. Oh,
Is the fact that they actually appreciate you back? Yeah, that's an answer. That's legit.
yeah, because you try to do nice things for friends to show them how much you mean to them. And if they don't appreciate that, then that's not really like a true friend. So
Yeah,
if a friend is showing their appreciation for something that you do to them, I think that's the ultimate respect as a friend. And shows that a friendship, it's a legitimate friendship, not one that lasts a designated amount of time and then ends
exactly.
once it's seen through. So yeah, I would say that's what I appreciate most in a friendship.
Yeah, it's not this typical stereotype where friends come and go. Those are fake acquaintances, but a real, genuine friend who actually appreciates and loves your presence, that goes a long way, man. And that's why we hold dear to those friends because it's hard to find them nowadays. So, you know,
Hmm.
that's why it's always important to be real. And our last question
Hmm.
for the day, Brad, what's your motto? What do you go by?
Um, I like uh I like the saying it's be yourself, everybody else is taken. I don't know, I think that goes a long way. Just being genuine. I think a lot of uh a lot of the negative things that happen in this world is because of ego,
Yep,
uh and not being able to kind of like take a step back and see other people's perspectives or compare perspectives. So I think it all just goes back to you know bringing who you are. There's people that try to act to fit a certain mold, and that doesn't help anything. I think everyone is on this earth for a reason to bring their own perspectives. And you're kind of cheating yourself and everybody else if you try to veer away from that distinct journey that you're supposed to be on.
how about that, Brad? You're giving us gold right here, and we appreciate you for it. But Brad Finn, this was great. Every second of it. Great stories, great advice, and great vibes. We appreciate you coming on and taking the time and hope to see you again. Do you have any other final words before we sign off?
No, I'll be back uh when the time is right. So you know.
And we're gonna look forward to it until then. But Brad Finn, everybody, thank you so much for coming on. You're the man. I'll see you real soon, bro. Thank you so much
All
for a great
right.
time.
All right, take it easy, boss.
You got it. You're the man, Brad. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Peace.